Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are listening to our show, especially if you're in Seattle. Like our guest. Guess who are you?
Hi, I'm Whitman, and I'm from Seattle.
Yes, Whitman Dewey Smith.
Are you drinking a coffee right now?
I am not. It is past coffee time.
Yeah.
We're not dipping into that any longer.
We figured it was either that or a mint julep because you sir, have the most southern name we could possibly imagine, Whitman Dewey Smith.
I know. It sounds like I should have been a novelist.
Yes. Yes. Penning your words with an elkskin glove with fringe.
That's Colonel Whitman Dewey Smith.
Yes, you don't mind if we call you Colonel the whole time, do you?
I was going to mention it actually as my preference.
Yes. All right. Everybody out there in the car, you can call him Colonel too. How about that? All right. Well, why don't you tell people where they can go see the things that you make?
Yeah, the things I make are found on whitmanaudio.com. Mm-hmm. And you can check us out there or on our Instagram by the same name. And we're also on YouTube, also under Whitman Audio.
Excellent.
What a coincidence.
I know.
Clinky-dink. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have with... Oh, yeah. Well, let me see. You're in Seattle. I'm just trying to give everybody the nickel tour. You've got 2 pedals out.
Yep, we just launched this last year. Got 2 pedals out that we launched with. We've got our decoherence pedal, which is a overdrive distortion, and Wave Collapse, which is kind of anywhere from dirty boost to very heavy fuzz.
Yeah. Yes, and we have that said Wave Collapse right in front of us. A handsome pedal, I will say. All right. Well, let's announcements. Tony, you've got?
I do not have any announcements this week. Do you have any announcements?
The only announcements I have are that we have a couple of giveaways coming up. I'm very excited about that.
What are we giving away?
Well,
that would ruin the surprise.
Well, no, we got a couple of shirts, and I think we got another pedal that we're going to be doing.
Yeah,
and some other stuff as it comes.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
how about a date with Tony?
Yes. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, at Pierogi Mountain.
Oh, not Pierogi Mountain. I'm not pleased with Pierogi Mountain.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm not either. I don't like pierogies. I think they're awful.
Oh, I love pierogies.
Well, that's where, taste counts.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Whitman, what's your take on pierogies?
Not a fan.
Really?
Yeah. I just, the world loves a Hot Pocket, but it's one of the few that I kind of stay away from.
Yeah.
Do you like ravioli?
That is nothing like ravioli.
It's of the same vein.
If you had ravioli with stuffed with flavorless nothing in it, then yes.
You
have not had my mom's pierogi.
No, I haven't.
Or now my pierogi.
My general feel is that they're generally stuffed with the color gray.
Yes. And, it tastes like it too.
Well, you're not eating the right pierogi.
Yes. How about some boiled flour and water with some flour and water in the middle of it?
Ugh. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't
understand why they didn't just
tank.
say, surely somebody out there must be doing this too. What are the Japanese doing with this? Oh, that's good. We should do that. I'm just saying.
You obviously have not had proper pierogi.
Tony's Polish, and now he's getting heated up.
Well, you just don't get it. Some people don't get it.
I don't get it.
Off to a good start.
Yes. Anyways, Dewey, we're gonna mix this up. Why don't you tell us what's going on in your music world this week? And by the way, if it doesn't have to do with building pedals, that's even better. Like you playing out, you got some new gear, you got a new record, blah, blah, blah.
I am not playing out. I'm not in a band currently, and haven't been since college. But I have been playing a lot more lately. Oh. I'm trying to get the chops back up, and it's been kind of a slow journey, but definitely having some fun.
What's your main guitar?
Okay, well, last year I treated myself to a Gretsch, which I had always wanted, and I bought it. Thought for sure it was going to just be my number one. And I do love it, but the sad fact is my $300 Squire Telecaster has remained my number one despite the new purchase, and so that's kind of my main guitar these days. Still,
which model do you have?
I think it's one of those classic vibes, and I put some new pickups in it. And this was a long time. This is probably 10 years ago, but it just can't be dethroned for some reason. I have a few other guitars, but for whatever reason, this thing is just.
It's so well built. I have one right here, the blonde.
Yep, that's what I have, and I don't know. It's the one I always reach for.
It is such a you cannot beat it for the money. I just don't. There's nothing else out there that I think can touch it.
I love how great cheap guitars are these days. It's amazing.
Yeah. What Gretsch did you get that went from number one to number two?
It's one of the ones with a lot of numbers, since they so well name their products.
Yeah.
It's a
bigger body, little
duo
body?
jet.
Okay.
It's but I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
And that's their thing.
We can go with the duo jet.
A long string. Yeah. But it's beauty, and I do love it. But
what color is it?
It is kind of a walnut. It's got a clear coat.
Oh, nice.
Walnut.
Okay.
She is pretty.
Yeah.
I do love it.
They do make a really pretty guitar, don't they?
Yeah, and I have just lusted after having one.
Yeah.
Forever.
So what made you want that guitar?
It's just I'd always wanted Filtertrons. Mm-hmm. And I love Bigsby, even though it's kind of a pain in the butt. I think those two things alone were kind of the big selling point.
Was there an artist that you liked that played one, or? No.
I had just always thought they were beautiful, and just they're such classy looking guitars. And I wasn't inspired by any players or anything. I definitely don't play the music that I think is typically heard on a Gretsch. It's been interesting for sure.
And what kind of music are you playing?
Well, I'm kind of all over the place, but a lot of the stuff is kind of heavier, so kind of like post rock kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or
band name that we can equate that to?
Like Mogwai.
Okay.
I've been listening to a band someone turned me on to called Soviet recently.
Oh,
and
okay. I'm writing that down.
I think they're Italian, if I'm not mistaken. But they're incredibly cool. It's like kind of shoegazy, but definitely kind of got heavier, kind of post-rock guitar kind of vibe to them. Super reverbed out.
Yeah.
Very, very vibey. So I've actually been listening to that a ton.
That's
really
cool.
enjoying that. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's we look how much we learned about you right there. That's great. I like that. Tony, how about yourself? What's going on with your music world this week, Tony?
I'm trying to find the name of this documentary. So it's the one about the struggles of the Dandy Warhols.
Dig.
Thank you. God, that was one.
So easy.
I know it was. So I finally.
They got another tour announced.
The Dandies?
I'm super excited. Yeah.
Or Brian Jonestown.
Dandies.
Okay.
Because and I hope Peter rolls through here, because then we can have him in the studio again.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yes.
But anyhow, I finally had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And it's really worth watching.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
Man, is it good?
Yeah.
And there was
very unconventional as far as what you think a rockumentary would be.
Yeah. I mean, normally I kind of like the ones that are just, they tell the story, they give you some, little tidbits of things that you may not know. This one was filled with things that you don't know.
Yeah.
So, if you happen to, I thought it was on Netflix, but it might have been on one of the other.
It's out there.
Yeah. Dig. D-I-G.
Yeah. I think it's D-I-G with an apostrophe.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe it has two apostrophes.
Yeah.
Or maybe has the flipped upside down one and the regular one.
That would be El Dig.
Yeah. Espanol.
Yes.
So anyhow, if you get a chance, that is definitely worth catching. I did watch a couple of others, but that one stuck out in my mind as obviously I could remember the title.
I dig it.
Dig it.
Well, as
how about you, Todd?
For me, well, I tell you what, there are so many good shows coming at us, like they're flying at us. Like you said, we just the Danny Warhols announced one.
Did you see X and Los
X
Lobos
is coming here? I'm so excited about that. Billy got some tickets already.
Yeah.
If you want in, you should go with us.
All right.
But I happen to get what I believe says the ticket seller, the very last Queens of the Stone Age ticket.
Very last one
for Columbus, which I'm love Queens of the Stone Age. So
let me see your ticket.
Well done.
It's digital. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. There's so many Devos coming. We got Peter Hook and the Light are coming.
Elvis
Costello's coming.
He's doing the first 3 albums.
Yeah,
all the early hits.
Loads of stuff. Loads of great music. All the good stuff is coming. So it was pretty fun. Yes, I like it. Anyways,
that's your music world.
That's the music world this week. What our music world didn't have anything to do with is stitching pedals together. But should we have talked about that, we would have referenced Tour Gear Design's patch cables. Because that's what I used to stitch up this Wave Collapse in front of me from Whitman Audio. And I couldn't be more pleased with those patch cables. I've got a box of them. I actually drug them out for our practice this weekend. I was letting my bass player try it. I'm like, hey, try this pedal. It was the Funky Mustache? No, the Mustache. I'm trying to remember the inappropriate mustache or something. The fuzz pedal. Anyways.
The
awkward mustache. That's it.
Awkward mustache.
Yeah. So I gave him the awkward mustache, and
the porn star mustache.
Do you have any patch cables? I'm like, actually, I do. So I sold him the whole bag of chips. So you should go over there yourself, get a big box full, hit purchase. Don't worry, it's not going to go through yet. But what it's going to do is give you a coupon code area. In that coupon code area, put the guitar knobs.
All lowercase, all one word.
Lowercase, all one word. You're going to save 15% on your order.
15%.
Yes, while it lasts, because we don't know what's going to happen to the world.
That's right.
So take advantage of that, people. Thank you to Tour Gear, up in our good friends in Canada, for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3.
4 on the floor.
All right. Whitman Dewey Smith from Whitman Audio. What is your 4 on the floor?
Oh, this was tough. I'm not going to lie. And I've been thinking about it. So I really took this as my desert island. And there was a lot of debate mentally over what I would go with. But I knew there were a few things that I had to have. So I love a blues breaker. And I think it's kind of a contentious pedal. I think a lot of people are not maybe into them as much as I am, but I love a blues breaker, and I have one from Electronic Audio Experiments, their Limelight, which is just a killer pedal. It just does that bright breakup thing. But it can kind of cover a lot of ground, which I love. It can just do clean, chimey stuff, but then it just can be raucous and amazing. So that had to be my number one. And that was an easy pick.
Okay.
The rest, not so easy. I went from there, and I think one thing that I was thinking for a desert island.
Oh, wait, time out. Go back to the Bluesbreaker. How do you run that? Is that something that you run by itself? Do you run that into something? Does something go into it?
Usually, it does have a boost on it, so it's a little bit of a cheat. It's kind of a 2-in-1, but it's got a JFET boost in it. I believe it's a JFET boost. So yeah, I usually run that thing right up front, and that boost can let you go from kind of that edge of breakup thing to pretty screaming. So that'd be kind of an easy first in the chain pick for me.
Okay. I also, I should tell you, there's another Bluesbreaker style pedal, the one that I actually picked up that I quite like. It's from Critter Electronics, and it's their I think it's the Model 4. Is it Model 4 overdrive? Yeah, Model 4 overdrive. It's essentially a Bluesbreaker on steroids plus boost. Man, I seriously like it. It comes in a sparkle case kind of thing. It's a dude up north, I think, in Michigan, where he lives. Anyways, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, he does some really cool pedals. You should check it out.
Will definitely do.
Yeah, and I just dropped that link in their little chat box there, so you can see for yourself. Anyways, okay, number 2.
All right, number 2. Tough spot. What are you gonna go with? I was just thinking desert island. I need something weird that can cover a lot of ground, and I went with a Fuzz Factory. Which I haven't actually been playing a lot, but it's just one of those pedals that it's kind of alive. Yep. It's its own thing. You never know what you're gonna get. I feel like every time I plug it in, I'm kind of terrified it's gonna be squealing and self-oscillating. But that's kind of what I love about it. It's there's always something to find on that thing. And I think, I love to have something that is a little uncontrollable, and you're never going to get the same sound out of that thing. Mm-hmm. I have 2 of them, and they're wildly different. You couldn't go put the knobs in one place on one and think it's going to sound the same on the other. Yeah. But I love that. Instability. I like that you kind of have to play the pedal. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I love about that.
And that's based on the Fuzz, the
Maestro.
The Maestro Fuzz Tone pedal.
Yep. And
those old hand painted ones are highly coveted. They've since gone to, I think they still do the some hand painted ones, but they also have the regular budget line or whatever you want to call it. Those are outsourced, but
they're affordable line.
The affordable line, yes. The thing that made I can't play. There's a couple pedals out there that are really, really good pedals. John's given me one, and I think it was called the Black. Was it the Black Box or the Black Volt? Or it's an overdrive that is built sideways. He's got it out there on the thing. Anyway, he loves it, and I'm like, I can't play a sideways pedal, man. It is the most unuser-friendly experience that I can imagine, and this is no exception because all those big knobs are like right under, right on top of the foot switch, and so it's a sideways pedal, and then so is the super trim. Super Trem. Sorry.
Super Trem.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great pedal. Not if you have feet.
Oh, come on. That's a big enough pedal. I don't care what size shoe you wear.
No, it's not.
It sounds great. It's a great sounding tremolo.
Yeah.
I would never be so bold as to try and play one of those live.
See?
I feel like a slight breeze would hit one of the knobs.
Right.
And, your crowd would have bleeding ears and be running out the door.
How could we make this pedal more unusable?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Let's make it sideways so you can not fit all the pedals on the board.
Well, that's true. It
put
does eat
two
up a lot of real
huge
estate.
knobs
Yeah.
right next to the foot switch.
So you can use your foot.
Who does? No. Nah, I'm not buying
Seasoned professionals.
Anyways,
do.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Number 3 is a new one for me. And I was just introduced to this pedal by my friend who bought one. It's from Fjord Fuzz. And it's a looker. It's got this, it's in one of those like 1590B, like small enclosure, but it's got kind of a copper PCB board on top. It's just very pretty. But it's a delay. It's like 2 short delays on this pedal that you can switch between. And one is maybe like up to 100 milliseconds. So it can be anything from kind of like a slight doubling to a slapback, and the other one's a bit longer. But they're both modulated, I believe. There's an LFO on this guy. And it's just a pedal that we plugged it in, and anywhere we turned the knobs was you just wanted to keep playing.
Really?
And so I have been looking at these ever since my friend brought one over. It's just, I don't know, I couldn't get a bad sound out of it. Super inspirational pedal.
Do you know where they're made?
I actually do not. They're not in the States. I do know that.
But I'm going to say Finland.
I was going to say, yeah. Because then they can get away with using the Foo Fighters logo. So
it's named the Loki. So I think you guys are in the right area, probably. So I think it is a mischievous little thing.
It looks cool.
It is pretty.
It's got the big like Bakelite style knob.
Yeah. Well, that's the Fry. You're looking at the Fry. He has the Loki.
Oh, the Loki. Sorry, my bad. Let me find
they all kind of have the same look, but very, very clean. That immediately that'll catch me. But just sounded incredible. So that's on my list to acquire at some point here.
I'm trying hard to find a Loki.
There it is, right there.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so that is actually different. Yeah. Okay. You have like the console style things on it.
But it still has the Foo Fighters logo on
it. Anyway.
Speaking of Dave Grohl.
It's his doppelganger abroad.
Yeah. So is it there's a lot of controls on that.
Yeah, there are a few, and to be honest, we really didn't even look at the manual, and he had just gotten it. Just started turning knobs.
Yeah,
and it was great. It was everywhere we hit, it just sounded amazing.
Does it have a wide range of like a wide dynamic range, or is it like when you plug in, you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be that?
No, it can be all encompassing if you want it to be, but it did settle really well too. So nice. Yeah, it could cover a lot of ground, I feel like.
Okay.
And probably if you actually know how it works,
it's even more helpful.
Probably. Because there was a lot of, I bet if we hold this button down and twist this knob, there's a secondary function, and I had no idea.
Yeah,
but it was a treat.
Oh, excellent.
And they are based in Norway, by the way.
They are based in Norway. Okay, that's cool.
All makes sense.
Norway's a neat place. Okay, let's go for number 4.
Number 4. struggle. I love reverb. I'm addicted to it, but I was trying to think of something that was kind of like more of a simple reverb, and then I had another friend recently buy this pedal, which is these are the two pedals on the list I don't own, but my experience with them was, I should own these. Mm-hmm. So Death by Audio's Rooms.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep.
Stereo reverb, and I think again it's got a lot going on that I didn't know about. But just I love just encountering something and immediately wanting my friends to go away so I could just spend 2 hours playing.
Right.
Yeah, that pedal easily would have put me in that spot. So that
that pedal, when they introduced that, we got to play that at NAMM, which was the worst place to play that pedal because it's so bonkers, and they're trying to talk to us about it while I'm trying to play it, and it's like it's already, if you take your headphones off, all you want to do is put headphones back on because it's really, really loud. And I was twisting all the knobs. I'm like, I mean, I guess so. I don't. It was just too much. Oh, and then they had it hooked up to a microphone. They're like, let's try it with the microphone. And it was bananas. So I really didn't get a good read on that pedal when I had the chance.
That's probably not the spot for it.
No.
Thunderous drone.
Yeah.
It is definitely one that I feel like, again, reading the manual would be a really good move.
Yeah.
But I love those things. You just plug it in.
It might be prohibitive, though. Maybe you're onto something there. Just go for it.
I do like to just go for it, and then eventually try and find the box like 3 months later.
Yes.
And try and find that manual and figure out what all the things actually do.
Yeah.
Than to promptly forget them.
Indeed. Well, that's a beautiful segue because the first thing we did was not look at your manual.
I love that.
Although, of manuals that we've received, this might be the handsomest of all.
I think so.
It was a really cool way to do that. It is in a teeny tiny front shirt pocket size field notes kind of notebook, saddle stitch.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, all right. This is there's some serious action going on here.
Now, if it had an actual moleskin cover, that would be a nice upgrade.
Yes, moles are.
We'll be on the lookout for a limited edition one where we begin tanning hides in the basement here.
Nice.
I think Tony's talking about the old moles from the dermatologist's office that they just flatten out.
No.
So I'll be dumpster diving then,
yes.
I guess.
That might be cheaper, though.
An old bag of moles.
Oh,
That's gross.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, so yes, we're looking at the Wave Cannon. We'll talk about this
or
real
the
quick.
Wave Collapse.
The Wave Collapse. Sorry. Yes, the Wave Cannon. Sorry, Caroline. The Wave Collapse is in front of us. It is a very handsome pedal. Tony and I spent quite some time on each little bit of the hardware here. And we each got to spend some time with it. We want to learn all about it. And then we want to find out, how'd you get here?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and give us the overview of what you believe the Wave Collapse is.
What I believe the Wave... Well, I believe the Wave... I believe
Sell
the
us
Wave
on it,
Collapse.
man.
Yeah. So the Wave Collapse, what I wanted when I went to make a fuzz is that I like that range of fuzz that can give you those older kind of vintage from Dirty Boost, kind of like a really high gain range master, just like kind of push towards falling apart kind of vibe, all the way through to something that I could pretend to play.
That you know what, the sound that comes to my mind, I know everybody's gonna say that's not what that is, but it is the opening to Revolution.
Yeah, that just kind of like ragged, can clean up, but is colorful, right? Like there's no wondering if you turn the pedal on, right? So I wanted something that could go and start there and be really responsive. Like I wanted the pick to be able to change that sound from that kind of dirty boost, and if you dug into it, I wanted it to respond.
Yes. Speaking my language, man.
Yeah. So that was the start, and I wanted that response, and I wanted it to go to somewhere where I could pretend I know how to play like stoner metal and doom metal riffs. So I wanted it to have just a huge range, which is tricky. Without it, just a lot of fuzzes. It's easy to kind of be a one note fuzz, I think. But I really was focused on making this thing cover a lot of ground. And the other big part of it was, much like my love of the fuzz face, or not the fuzz face, the fuzz factory, I wanted it to be super interactive. Like I wanted every knob to screw with the other knobs, and every switch to mess with all the knobs. So I wanted something really interactive. And
I was going to say, when I tried this out, this is probably one of the most, if not the most, customizable fuzzes. I mean, and as you say, you can take it from a pretty strong
all the way,
all the way up to a full on fuzz attack.
When we were talking about that, Tony, we both kind of landed on the same term for this, which was like, it was more like a drive utility.
Yeah.
That's not taking away from the fuzz factor of it, but because it had so much range and every parameter is operable.
Yeah. And throughout the full range of things, you get different tonality out of different settings all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of like unvoiced, meaning when you turn it on, it doesn't like, okay, it's going to sound exactly like this or that. It's really, really malleable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's what we're really after. It's just, I wanted people to find something that, like I like that feeling when you plug something in and it's kind of like pulling the riffs out of you. Like you're kind of uncovering something there, and you're playing to the sound. You're playing to the pedal. That was a big factor in decisions we made, kind of in the design process.
Yeah, I love it when you plug something in, whether it's a guitar, an amp, or a pedal, or or heck, even a new pick or something, and immediately something comes out of it where you're just like, I hadn't planned on that, but this is what it wants me to do, and going with that is a really cool experience.
Finding stuff, finding that like new riff or that that sound that I had maybe not considered something sounding like that for this part. Yep. I do like that utility like idea. Like I kind of think of it like that as well. Since it can cover a lot of range and sound thin or sound huge or
but it doesn't do that on its own. That's the cool part, is that you get to make it do that because of how you've worked out the controls on this. And your other pedal does, pretty much the same thing in the way that the user experience is. Can you walk us through what your controls do on this?
Yeah. So it's got 4 knobs on it. The input is the first knob and is arguably probably the most affecting of the other knobs. So you're controlling the amount of signal getting into the circuit, and you're sending it through a classic transformer pickup simulator. It's impacting the frequencies as well as the level that's going into the rest of the circuit. So not only is it attenuating the amount of signal going into the rest of the circuit, it's also producing a little bit of a hump in the kind of high frequencies that shifts a little bit as you're using that volume knob. So that's your starting point, and from there you're going into the main kind of fuzz part of the circuit. So there's kind of two halves to the circuit that are getting that sound, and the first part is the fuzz one, and that's controlled by a number of the switches that are in the middle. So there's a range switch, which is controlling the amount of bass that's getting let into the circuit. So you can, in the middle position, have let in a very thin sound, not a lot of bass, pretty harsh bass cut off, and incrementally you're adding, you're letting through a bunch of bass into the circuit after that, and which really, it's changing the amount of gain as well as the bass as you send in a bunch of low frequency content. And then the switch right below that, the mass circuit, is the danger switch on this pedal, if I were to say that. It has a very dramatic impact on the amount of gain that is created.
Yes.
So in its center position, it's at its most tame, and that's where you find this kind of vintage, kind of like direct console kind of sounds even. And as you flick that sideways, you're massively increasing the amount of gain and bass that the circuit is controlling. So that first fuzz circuit. And so huge changes on that switch itself. And then below that, on the knobs, you've got a bias control, which its best friend is the input control right above it. So these two, I think, have the biggest impact on the texture of the sound.
Very interactive.
Super, super interactive with the input. So if you're messing with the input, you're messing with the bias. Because you're controlling the amount of signal getting in, and then the bias is controlling how that circuit right after it is going to be impacted. So is it going to be super gated and sputtery and cut off all the way through to just being super brash and open sounding. And then after that, you're really just filtering the sound. There's a tilt EQ. That's pretty straightforward, but there's a knob or a switch rather that will duck out the mids at about 1K. It'll pull that down pretty substantially. And depending on what you have going on the rest of the pedal, that can be kind of overrun by the fuzz, or it can be quite impactful.
Yeah.
And it just really depends on the sound you have. So it's always worth exploring that. And that's kind of the last thing I set.
I think that one is probably most responsive to whatever amp you're playing. At least because I ran it on, I only ran it on 2 different ones, but they reacted very differently on each.
Yeah,
the Vox and the Marshall.
That sound definitely comes through differently based on the amp. So if you have like a black face Fender that's kind of got scooped mids already, that's going to sound different than some that's more mid forward.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's talk about what you got going on in the guts. What is this? What's the base of it as far as the drive?
Well, there's two circuits. The first gain stage is based around a BC108 transistor. So it's a two-stage gain circuit there, and it gets most of its lineage from a fuzz face ish. Definitely inspired by that and kind of tone bender circuits, but silicon. So it's a much higher gain circuit with a good bit of filtering in there just to try and tame some of the really shrill stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
And that all moves into, after the filtering, it moves into a really big JFET circuit that is taking whatever you're throwing at it, and it's its own gain stage with its own sound. So it's kind of how we are able to get this big range. Right. So when you have the input low, that first gain stage isn't really distorting very much. It's set so that it can be clean. But what happens is if a clean signal or somewhat clean is getting through to that last gain stage, that carries the sound, and that what you're hearing is the sound of that second gain stage, which is
the JFET.
And it's set up and it's modeled kind of more like a preamp in a guitar amp is kind of how it's set up. And it does have clipping that's after that stage, but it's at a really high threshold. So it allows you to get a lot of that clean stuff in there and nearly clean. But then when you push a big signal in and you're sending it through that first gain stage, that thing kind of takes over, right? Mm-hmm. The sound becomes that first gain stage. And so like whatever's happening in that JFET stage is really just adding a little bit of additional texture and kind of actually smoothing out this, the stage right before it. So it kind of takes a back seat in higher gain settings.
Yeah.
And it's really that interplay between these kind of two circuits. So where one drops off, the other kind of takes the front seat and kind of like center stage and vice versa.
Yeah. Well, and then talk to us about the pickup simulation. That's something you don't really see often, or at least talked about on the pedals. So that's interesting.
Well, it's actually I wouldn't say it's uncommon. It's a riff on a pretty, at least in the DIY community, a pretty famous circuit by Jack Orman. And it's using a transformer, not really as a transformer, but actually more as an inductor to allow you to put this guitar pedal in different spots in your pickup chain, essentially. So a lot of those like old fuzzes respond really differently to being in different parts of a pedal board. Say they like to be first in the chain because they have kind of a very low impedance, and they like to respond to the guitar and the volume knob on the guitar. And as soon as you move those things past a buffer or after some other pedals, that ability to control the sound with your guitar knob, it disappears because it's seeing kind of a different signal. So this helps alleviate a lot of that and allows you to still mess with your volume on your guitar and clean it up. It also just kind of makes it play nice on your pedal board, so you can put it after a buffer, and usually I've got a tuner, usually on the front of my pedal board, and it's got a buffer in it that I use, and I I just think it's nice to be able to have flexibility.
Yeah. Well, that makes it real nice for stacking, because I know that I did that. Tony, did you stack this or just go straight?
Nah, I just pretty much went straight.
Yeah. He's running AC30 hand wired
15.
Sorry, I never get. I've said that many times. He's got an AC15 hand wired, and I'm running it through an AC30.
And I also used it. I've got is it a 40-watt trainer?
Oh yeah.
Tube amp too.
Yeah. So we actually have, he's doing the trainer on him, and I've got a Marshall Origin 50. So we're actually not too far apart on our spread. We didn't run it through Fenders. Did you run?
Well, the trainer in the clean side, it's very Fendery. So yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, all that being said, I like to stack pedals. So I put it in front of our very own Tony Baloney pedal, which is like sort of a juiced sparkle drive, and then put it in front of it, behind it. Also ran it in behind a Hello Sailor. He's got a thing called the broadside. So it's basically two pedals in one. And anyways, it matched. It was super versatile. That's where I'm getting. And I really appreciated that about it, because I love drive. And I can get super, super particular and finicky, because I'm looking for a particular kind of attack. What I don't like is when I get a pedal and it just, like, no matter what I do, it's just going to sound like the pedal.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I like, the response. Like,
yeah.
In pedals, I love when, you lean into them and they're going to respond, and you can hear it,
yeah.
And making sure that can happen on a fuzz pedal is super important to us. And that was a big part of making sure we could allow for that. And I love running another drive in front of this when it's kind of cleaner, and you put something on that's gonna hit it with that high signal and totally erupt, and that's fun.
It has. I mentioned that Revolution, the opening to Revolution, and I think the first time I heard that stuck with me so much, because that sound, that super pushed sound, like, you get that on some fuzz faces and some pedals where it just starts to have a bloom of its own, not unlike actually like a Vox amp. I think has, when you push it, it's like it kind of starts to do something on its own a little bit. Like best I can think of it is just like it has this sort of like extra bloom on top of the sound. And I got this pedal to do that, and I was like, oh, hello, I love that. It wasn't just, here's the sound. When you push it, it gives you that extra stuff that you weren't expecting. Like, I'm not exactly sure how to better describe that. Tony, how can I better describe that? It's like the overtones, like sort of harmonic overtones.
The harmonic bloom.
The harmonic bloom. That's it. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't know how else to say that, but
it kind of it's those the secret overtones and undertones.
The stuff
in some
that
cases.
happens that you can't. It's not the controllable stuff. It's the stuff that you can't control.
It's chaos.
It's I love it. Well. I think we've sold the living heck out of this thing, and you've done a really beautiful job. It's a very handsome pedal, very nicely, all the hardware on it is really cool. And your other one is white. This is a black one. Your other one is white and does a lot of the same stuff, which everybody can find out about on the website. I want to find out, at this point, how did you come about making this? Do you have a background in electronics?
I don't actually. I'm started as an art school kid. To be honest, I went to school for photography.
All the great people did. I mean, let's
I went to school for.
Well, at least one of the two
photography.
people on the podcast.
Yeah, so definitely no background in electronics, and I had always messed with pedals, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, quite a while. We'll say quite a while as a time frame. But in the last 2 years, finally took it upon myself to actually learn and pick up books and study and really learn what was happening.
Was there one that particularly struck you that you can share with the audience?
Book?
Yeah, or other materials that made you go like, aha.
I would say kind of my number one textbook would be, I think it's called Small Signal Design by Douglas Self. It is.
Okay.
It's kind of the Bible, honestly, of a lot of folks. It's a tough read at first, I would say, but a wealth of knowledge to really start understanding audio circuits. But yeah, I think what happened is I had been around folks that were doing this in college and kind of learning, and I was always interested, but never kind of I wasn't like enamored, I would say.
Did it scare you before you actually got a handle on it?
No, I wouldn't say definitely not scared, but I was excited by the fact that there's so much I didn't know. Yeah. It's a subject with, I think I'll be able to continue learning forever. Oh, I'm sure. It's endless. And that's what really finally drew me in. I got a chunk of time after getting laid off a few years ago and just poured myself in, and it was the perfect time for that, to just dive into something and limitless possibilities to learn stuff. And I started exploring it a lot more and designing, and it felt great to go off the beaten trail, and discover things that that I had created, and go past, what I had been doing, which was modifying stuff. And I think like a super common path for people, which is great. Modifying their circuits, kind of getting the sound they want out of them. It's the perfect spot to start understanding what's really going on in these little magic boxes. And
one of the talking about the modifying, I remember the first kit that I got, and what was really neat is that there was like I checked the chat channel for this, and somebody had posted up like, oh, here's a diagram that I made for switching out variable values of resistors. And I said, well, that's fun. I didn't know any better. I'm like, that sounds cool. I'll try that. And that was like, oh, this is actually really shaping it. This is really cool. That was a neat thing to encounter, because up to that point I was just putting it together, which was still really exciting. But in that midst of putting it together, I actually had the chance to make it more my own via that. And I thought, oh, okay, I get what you can get like really excited about in building something like that.
Once that takes hold, that, oh, I can get the sound out of my head that I've been looking for. That bug just became obsessive for me, and I just could not stop reading and researching and simulating circuits and, just anything I could get my hands on, just because it's just amazing to, put together a string of components and have that magic kind of erupt out of it and just find something new. you know, that the thought of finding something new is pretty intoxicating. You know, it's it just makes you want to dive in further and further and further. And that's definitely what happened to me. I just couldn't stop and still can't stop, and get pumped. You know, I wake up with an idea and I'm like, oh, I'm taking stuff off the schedule tomorrow because I came up with something. I gotta try it out. And I think that it's such a rich subject, and I love the science of it. And you know, the fact that the science goes so far until you try something and realize, oh, that kind of sounds awful. You know, let me just try something by ear. You know, it's that balance between the art and science that's so cool.
Yeah. Well, and you end up getting to make something that is your very own thing, which is really cool, that other people can play.
Yeah, just making something feels great. Instead of pushing spreadsheets around. That's what I spent the majority of my life doing. I don't hate on a spreadsheet. I still love them, but it's been great to be able to make something in the real world, other than equations in the spreadsheet.
Now you said that's leading to a lot of great ideas. Do you have anything else sort of in the works that you can hint at?
Oh boy, we have a lot of irons in the fire right now. I will share that what I think we've made so far, I'm very proud of, and we love. I think where you'll see us go is really pushing the design elements. And using some kind of very unexpected material choices and things that harken back to my sculptural days back in school.
Good. I thought you were going to say rattan or something like that.
Macrame. A macrame pedal.
They're all going to be decoupage.
It's in solid. It's in solid resin.
Yeah, it could be really cute. Good stocking stuffers. No, we're really going to try some pretty wild stuff here coming. Probably end of summer.
Okay, nice.
And we've got kind of a more standard release that should be coming out, I think, right at the beginning of summer here. So yeah, not too much to give away yet, but
that's enough for us to whet our appetite for. So
yeah.
Please let us know when you. I did just sign up for your newsletter. So, but when you roll around with it, make sure you give us a call. Okay.
We will let you know.
Well, so you got the decoherence, which we didn't talk about, but you can learn all about it on the Whitman Audio website, and its darker brother, the Wave Collapse, is just a really fantastic pedal. So by definition of what we've been talking about, I think the decoherence is probably pretty awesome as well. You can either confirm or deny that right now. What?
I will confirm that it is.
Okay. Which one was first, by the way?
Ooh, that's actually kind of tough. Decoherence was first, but they were kind of done in parallel, and they went back and forth on the bench so much.
So the fraternal twins.
They are. They really separated at birth,
yes.
And grew up in very different lands, very very different pedals, but
nice.
Kind of same vibe though.
Yeah.
Very interactive pedals.
Well, we wish the absolute greatest success to you in your pursuit to create distance between you and the spreadsheets, and on top of that, make us all sound awesome.
Yeah.
We have a little thing that we're going to do right now called
Would You Rather?
Yes, we would. Tony, take it away.
Does Jared know that we do that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure he's not going to sue us or anything.
He won't. I'm more afraid that he would come over and break down the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right, Todd. At this point of the show is a little game we play called Would You Rather. Today's Would You Rather is an adaptation from one submitted by our good friend Mike Nazionale. You know him. So here's the deal. You are a genie in a bottle.
Baby.
Yeah. The bottle is being polished and causes you to spring out of it.
You thought it said Polish and you got really excited for a minute
I was
there,
hoping there'd be some pierogi or something in there. Jeez.
It's a Polish genie.
It's a Polish genie.
How do I
like
get back
him.
in this thing?
I don't know. Anyhow, you announce yourself and grant the holder one of two wishes. Okay.
I'm still laughing at my Polish genie joke because that was pretty... Okay. I'm not laughing anymore, Tony.
You're hurting my feelings.
I'm sorry.
So you get one of two wishes. Yeah. One is an exact replica of your favorite guitarist. Guitar. You see, not the guitarist himself.
Yes.
That would be a little creepy.
I gotcha.
The other is a complete custom guitar made to your exact specifications.
Okay.
So, would you rather have the artist's guitar replica or a custom spec guitar? And part B, if you go with option one, whose guitar? Or what are your specs?
Okay. That's a great one. And that is, we appreciate, we did call Mike Nazionale's lawyer, who was filling up the fountain on the front lawn at the time. But he said it was okay that we did that. So thank you, Mike Nazionale, for that. All right, Tony.
Yes.
So that Whitman and I can buy a little bit of time. Tell us what you want to do.
Well, what I would like to do, I would rather have an exact replica.
Really?
Of an artist's guitar.
Okay.
I've already made my own to my exact specs.
Okay.
So, part B answer. I would like an exact replica of Mick Ronson's 1968 Les Paul Custom.
The black back.
Black back and sides.
Yeah.
Strip top. Covers off the pickups. I mean, to me,
he was so cool.
Do you know that he actually?
There's a great documentary on that. It's really good.
Yes.
It kind of doesn't make Bowie look so good, but anyways.
Well, the he actually did all of the charts and orchestration for the first three albums.
I saw the movie.
Oh, you saw the movie,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. But anyways,
hey Whitman, have you ever seen this documentary on Mick Ronson?
I'd like to hear it. Here it goes.
I just haven't, but I feel like maybe we'll get through it here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the whole synopsis. Yes. No, he was a brilliant musician. The bands that he worked with, and of course with Bowie.
Yeah.
And the fact that he really understood music. If someone told me held a gun to my head and said to chart something, I would just say, pull the trigger right now.
Do you think it's safe to say, without further exposing said movie,
yes,
that there probably wouldn't have been the Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars album without him?
Yeah,
at all.
Or Hunky Dory.
Or okay.
Or Aladdin Sane.
Okay, I get the picture, but you know what I'm saying.
But there would be no Ziggy
specifically.
There would be no Ziggy Stardust. There might have been a Ziggy Stardust, but it would have been just a maybe. Mick was the guy that really glued everything together.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
So that's what and I've always wanted one. I was going to have one made, and there was some problems, blah, 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 blah. But anyhow,
you could do that yourself, Tony.
Well, I could go buy
just to get the top off.
Yeah, just sand the top off just like he did.
Yeah.
But, finding one that has just the right top, too. Because it was, it wasn't a fancy top guitar. It was just plain.
Yes.
And
I challenge you to do that.
tell you what.
Yes.
You go buy me a nice Les Paul Custom 2 pickup.
I know a website where I can get one of those.
Yeah.
Very affordably.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Sounds good.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sticking to it.
All right. Whitman, much about you?
Well, I'm going to have to go the custom route. I was thinking of an artist, but I think I have always wanted a Les Paul Jr., and I think this is the time. So I'm going Les Paul Jr., maybe like a walnut, like a dark one, those like red tortoise pickguard, kind of classic look, P90, single one in the bridge, just the most simple stripped down guitar. It's been on my bucket list for a long time. I love the simplicity of them.
Every guitarist should have a Les Paul Jr. Wraparound tailpiece, P90 dog ear. I mean, it's
exactly.
It just, and many of them are very, very light. I have a few.
What?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, you don't.
Well, let me play one. Let me borrow one.
Come over and
Stop hoarding all the guitars, Tony.
Come over and pick one out. I'll let you pick one.
Okay, what
single cut or double cut?
Ooh, that's tough. All right, if I went double cut, we're going for 2 pickups because a P90 in the bridge is amazing. In the neck. But I think I'm going single. I think I'm going single cut, single pickup.
Okay.
I love the stripped down guitar.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
I think they're so cool. The sound of rock and roll. I just think they're great.
I dig it.
All right. What about you, Todd? Since you've already had your dream guitar built.
Well, one of them.
One of them.
My other one, it would basically be the complement to Vinny, in the sense that I would get a semi hollow, Bernie Kiesel body shape, pointy,
double cut,
but not the full jazz body, like
thin body,
semi hollow. And I would actually like that to have Filtertrons.
Oh.
So just essentially a more aggressive Gretsch kind of thing. I want it to sound like White Falcon to a degree.
See, that's I was going to say. I'm surprised that
I almost went Billy Duffy. I was right there.
All right.
But I love at some point in time I want this.
Yes.
But I would want it in like burnished black and like a worn piano bench. Yeah, like not super gloss and just distressed a little bit, paint knocked off the neck.
Yeah.
And I think that would be pretty grand.
Interesting.
Yes. Some of the other bits about it, I think doing something interesting with the actual fretboard would be like kind of cool, like
scalloped.
Yeah.
Perfect fit.
Yes. No, I like block inlays, but I mean both the 2 guitars that I have. That are similar necks have small like trapezoid style inlays. Mm-hmm. They're not huge chunks like on a Les Paul or something like that. And they're not dot, so it's just a little something in the middle.
I like dots.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of
dots.
The dot.
Are fine. I do like jumbo dots. I think jumbo dots are kind of cool.
How about super jumbo dots?
Super jumbo dots. Yes. Anyways, that's what I would do. Doggone it.
Nice.
Yes. And that would be. What
would you call
cool.
this one?
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. Kenny. I don't know.
For your deep love of Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. No, but the only other thing, I wouldn't put a Bigsby on it, but I would put the
trapeze.
No, the oh man, Duesenberg.
Oh, you like the Duesenberg?
I do like the Duesenberg trem. Yeah. I don't know if it would work on that, but I like that better than a Bigsby. Yes, thank you.
Those are very cool. I've not gotten to try one, but I also just kind of love the look of those.
Yeah,
they're very classy looking.
Yeah, I have one on a Hagstrom Viking, and I really like it a lot. In fact, I'm considering putting it on my other Hagstrom Viking, but I don't know if I will. But anyways,
you should put a dream. You should put a Floyd on that other one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a fun one. Mike, nuts in. Oh, by the way, yeah, I said piano black.
Piano black. Well, that's right.
Burnished piano black. It was put on ages and ages ago, so it's not piano shiny like a Steinway. It's a very, very tiny piano.
You do like to blend all of those.
Yes. Anyways, that was a fun one. It's always fun to dream. Anyways, all right. Tony, we need to thank a few people, and then we can say adios to our friend Whitman.
That is correct. At this point of the show, Todd, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Quite simple. Go over to patreon.com/The Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple of different levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a friend, a hero of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win free stuff. Need I say more? No, I need not. But in addition to all that great stuff, there's one thing more. What would that be?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Helverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, got it right, Owen Eads, Plutone, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, what? Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Berezin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, and Vader and Pedals.
Yes.
Oh, but wait, Todd, there's more because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. Mm-hmm. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to the podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Mike Nazionale, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wound Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, and Columbus's own Ty Barnes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. We truly can't do this without you. We truly thank you. If you have been considering joining that crew, now's a great time. Anytime's a great time.
Do it.
Just
I dare
hop
you,
on over.
I dare you to do
I
it.
double dog dare you.
Ooh,
I triple dog dare you.
Oh, well then I'm signing up right now.
All right. We need to say a colossus thank you, a colossal thank you to Whitman Dewey Smith, the Colonel from Seattle, for joining us on this Happy Fun Time show. Thank you so much, man. It was great talking with you and getting introduced to the awesome products you make.
Hey, thank you guys so much. It's great nerding out, and I had a good time. I appreciate it.
Good. Excellent. Tony, and please tell everybody where they can get this stuff and how they can stay up on the cool things you're going to make.
Good question. So you can find us at whitmanaudio.com. Head on over to Instagram. It's probably what we keep the most up to date on the newest things we'll be working on, and having some sneak peeks on there as well.
And just like Todd did earlier, you can sign up for the newsletter if you go to the website.
Yes, and we do send some special things out to that newsletter. So if you sign up, you just might find something cool in your inbox.
I like it. Tony, how about yourself?
Just head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make custom pick guards for guitars. How do you get one? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're trying to do. All the specifications. Excellent. Just like the genie. I'm like the genie of pick guards, you see. It's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Exactly. You can shoot me a DM at Instagram at the Guitar Knobs. No, just kidding. Let me strike that. I don't know what my own channel's called. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram at Guitar Knobs. And we would love to hear from you. Tell us what's going on. Tell us about your gear. Tell us why you love the things that you do, whatever it might be.
Send us a would you rather.
Yes. Tell us what your favorite soup is.
Send us your 4 on the floor.
Do that too, yes. And also, we need to make sure that you have a great week, everybody. Out there. A great guitar week. And subscribe! Tough day at the office, honey?
Make it a double.
I wanna Shasta. I wanna thrill, I wanna wow, I want it all, I want it now. I wanna pop, pop, pop. I wanna.
All right, I'm going to change
Shasta. Okay.
because
I grew up in Alabama and spent most of my life there.
Would you like some Frankie's Whitman Dewey Smith? Columbus and Seattle are actually a lot alike.
Really?
Except for the mountains and the ocean and, well, basically just that.
you can have your own 12-string electric.
Why does it have to be? No. 12-string, boo.
Why are you so...
Boo.
Indulging
my dirty
Todd,
laundry.
could you tell us more about yourself?
Yes.
Enough about me.
Yes.
What do you think about me?
Yes. What's that? And he's like, oh, dude.
That's carpet cleaner.
It is carpet cleaner. Thanks, Tony. He finally came up for air. Yes.
I love this plunge tank we put in the studio.
The Geritol just knocks you right out, doesn't
Oh, man.
You tried to get me in that one, but it didn't work. It's a different thing, Tony. Someday I'll tell you about it.
Tell me all about it. Tell me about the rabbits, George.
All right. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.